good afternoon, and welcome to Teleislas News with the most important and relevant news of the day. The most recent report delivered by the National Police in the department records the case of 3 people captured and placed at the disposal of the Attorney General Office.
In the development of the operational activities, officials of the National Police assigned to the International Airport Gustavo Rojas Pinilla achieved the capture in flagrante delicto of a 43-year-old citizen for the crime of trafficking, manufacture, and possession of narcotics after finding her with more than 1,000 grams of a plant substance with characteristics similar to marijuana. This citizen was placed at the disposal of the Attorney General Office.
It is also very important to mention that we have had all the support and we have managed to receive from the Civil Aeronautics some scanning equipment that is allowing us to do a much more professional job, and above all with much more technological capacity, which allows us to carry out more thorough searches and from which we have been able to obtain very positive results.
Similarly, a 33-year-old citizen was captured for the crime of manufacturing, trafficking, carrying, or possession of firearms, accessories, parts, or ammunition after the respective personal search was performed, finding in his possession a pistol-type firearm, a supplier, and 6 cartridges. So he was immediately captured and placed at the disposal of the Attorney General Office.
With this, we are achieving not only to advance this type of activities with very positive results, but also we are taking out of circulation those firearms that cause us so much damage, those weapons with which we cause injuries, those firearms with which we cause homicides.
Finally, the report of the police institution registered the capture of a 26-year-old citizen for the crime of manufacturing, trafficking, carrying, of possession of firearm, accessories, parts, or ammunition. The events that took place in the neighborhood of the Cliff during the search and control activities. The captured person was carrying a revolver-type firearm with 6 cartridges.
We hope that justice will do its job and that they will remain in good custody so that they do not continue to generate fear among the citizens.
It should be noted that the 3 people captured were placed at the disposal of the Attorney General.
In order to improve the process of social control and citizen oversight, the regional controller promotes training to strengthen issues related to social control.
This morning in the auditorium of the Departmental Administration facilities, a training on social control and citizen oversight was held to provide support to the different members of the community to take part in the social controls and oversight of the resources available for the archipelago. It was attended by the stakeholders of the Comptroller Office, overseers, members of the Community Action Board, and citizens in general, where knowledge, competence, and skills were strengthened for the exercise of care of public resources through social control and supervision.
We are investing on having many more eyes on the execution of public resources. We know that it is a difficult and complicated process because of what public procurement represents. But we know that the community and the overseers are with us. Fiscal controls and the participation of social control will be much more effective. We are going to work with community leaders, with the oversight groups that are already active, and we are going to show them that it is good to have many more active oversight groups and that there is other fundamental figure that is brought to us by Article 21 of Law 850 and is the creation of the networks of citizen oversight groups. Fundamental because all these oversight groups can be added and can join efforts.
The training of these competencies will be carried out through one training that was managed before the Departmental Comptroller of Antioquia, who will lead the process in person, allowing attendees to access knowledge and tools for the exercise of social control, thus contributing to the exercise of fiscal control, in addition to influencing the condition of the development of public management through the oversight groups.
We have an inter-administrative agreement with the Comptroller of San Andres, and we have also been working to establish an environmental control and social control, and the latter focused on strengthening fiscal control. Therefore, we have come to train them to explain why it is important that we strengthen ourselves as citizen oversight, and not only that those that already exist work every day, but it is required to train and articulate citizen oversight to form a large network of oversight in the department.
And following the eruption activity of the Cumbre Vieja volcano in Canary Island in Spain, IDEAM gives us a forecast about the sulfur dioxide that will be entering the national territory.
IDEAM in its most recent report informs that faced with the situation associated with the possible affection by the entry of sulfur dioxide to Colombia, IDEAM's developed sustainability monitor group has carried out permanent monitoring of this pollutant and aerosols, making use of the forecast service provided by the Atmosphere Monitoring Service. Based on this monitoring, IDEAM ratifies that an intercontinental transport of sulfur dioxide from the volcanic plume has been observed, which occurs between 1,500 and 5,800 meters above the sea level and mainly affects the Caribbean Sea. Regarding the national territory, a minimal increase of the pollutant was observed over the Department of La Guajira. However, it is noted that the concentration reported on the surface will not represent any impact or affectation. The Institute will continue to monitor the atmospheric and marine conditions, and Teleislas will be able to be the one who satisfactorily transmit the information issued by this official source.
The Secretary of Tourism, Jonathan Taylor, in dialogue with this news agency, he reported that soon there will be some calls for people interested in becoming lifeguard.
Committed to protecting the lives of visitors and residents at sea, the Secretariat of Tourism aims to train lifesavers and people interested in being lifeguards. It must be remembered that the lifeguard has the function of monitoring and supervising the aquatic activities, making sure that users comply with the pre-established safety measures in order to avoid injuries and accidents. Lifeguards respond to any emergency in a timely and efficient manner. For this reason, it is important to be trained and have the necessary knowledge to respond to any emergency.
Esta secretaría viene organizando.
This secretariat is organizing because in this quarter we have projects that we are going to advance. It will be in principle a reinduction to the staff that we presently have, which is the water rescue. But we are looking at the possibility of opening this call to people of the department, young people who want to train and are interested in becoming lifeguards of our department beaches.
The idea is that all those interested in being part of the aquatic rescue group should be attentive to this training.
Very good. And during these days, the National Navy has conducted in the department a series of activities around the theme of the sea, which seeks to the involvement of the entire community that inhabits and visits the department of San Andres.
For the past 5 days, the island has been celebrating the Week of the Sea with a series of activities involving resident tourists and Raizal people. Lieutenant Commander Victor Santos gave an assessment of these activities.
Ha sido una semana del mar fructífera donde desde el 9 al
It has been a fruitful week of the sea, where from the 9th to the 14th, we've developed a number of events and all in order to join efforts and that people have fun. And I really think that this is the desired and end result. It has been successful. We have seen the beaches of Spratbite since the 9th practically full. That's what we've been looking for, and thank God things have happened.
The Week of the Sea will end this Thursday, October 14. The closing ceremony will be held on the beaches of Spratbite near the New Point Plaza at 4 p.m.
Isolated cases of COVID-19 continues to appear in the archipelago with a trend that indicates a reduction in the infections.
The National Institute of Health in its daily report registered 6 new cases of COVID-19 in the archipelago to what for today's date since the beginning of the current pandemic in the San Andres, Old Providence and Santa Catalina Islands have been reported 6,902 positive cases, while about 6,731 people have been recovered. Guineahen, San Luis, Sierra Bay, Obrero neighborhood and Schoolhouse are the most affected neighborhoods. Likewise, the authorities indicated that there have been no deaths due to this virus today in the islands. Data from the departmental government indicate that there are only 10 active cases and there is an occupancy rate of 0%. It is worth remembering that 84,900 doses have been applied in the insular department, of which 38,265 are second doses, which indicates that a vaccination rate of 85.5 has been achieved. Meanwhile, the situation in the rest of the country remains serious. Yesterday, 1,075 new cases were registered, and there are still about 13,596 active cases in the rest of the country.
And now let's learn about other facts that are news today in our briefings.
The Secretariat of Mobility has been conducting pedagogical work in the central area of the island territory. With games and educational programs, the local government seeks to encourage compliance with all traffic rules and thus have safer mobility for drivers and pedestrians. During the pedagogical work, the drivers have been able to explain the importance of using safety elements as well as to drive with caution. With this slogan, synchronized with the care of your body, the League Against Cancer of the Archipelago seeks to raise awareness and prevent breast cancer, a type of cancer that currently remains the most prevalent in the country and that causes the largest number of deaths. As part of this fight, we will be held on the island on October 16th, a 5-kilometer race that will start from 7 a.m. in the Park Manawa. The elite group Lobos with the anti-narcotics police arrived in the department of San Andres with the purpose of materializing captures of recognized criminals actors that affect the coexistence and citizen security of the insular department.
And now let's go on to the weather forecast for today. The weather forecast for today, October 13th, in the coastal area of the archipelago, the sky is mainly cloudy. The temperature is 30 degrees Celsius with winds from the northeast direction with intensities of 13 kilometers per hour. Humidity forecast is 75% and a 1% of precipitations. No rain.